to find out what exactly the latest real estate trends are, if it's favorable for landlords and sellers, which are the cities which are gaining momentum. Saurabh Garg, co-founder and chief business officer of NoBroker.com, joins in to discuss the No Broker Real Estate Report. It's interesting actually with the key takeaways, Saurabh, and let's just have you run us through which, first up, are the top cities that, are seeing strong momentum and demand when it comes to real estate picking up?
Sure. So I think overall the market is very, very buoyant. A lot of people are saying that this is Amrit Kal of real estate, and I think there's quite probably it's true. So we are seeing across cities that there's a huge demand from buyers who want to buy the property. Both first-time buyers, investors, both are there in the market. Especially we have seen a lot of things happening in Bangalore, Delhi NCR, Hyderabad, Mumbai. I think all the four markets are doing extremely well. And what is also happening is that this is probably the highest number of launches, the record number of launches in the last decade. And also the absorption has been phenomenal. So, most of the launches have been absorbed very, very quickly. The inventory overhang has come down. And this has also pushed the resale property sales a lot also, because still almost 85% people want to buy a ready-to-move-in property. So if they're finding that the launch is too far ahead, they have gone into the resale market, and this has pushed the resale properties prices also and then boosted the sale as well. Even the rental market is doing extremely well. The rentals have seen a very high jump in this year also. I think the last post-COVID, we have been seeing rental inflation being very, very high. A similar trend has been seen. The demand, outstrips the supply. So clearly, very positive sentiments across everywhere.
Sir, what about rental versus EMI? Because we understand that the rental costs in some cases equate to or even surpass home loan EMIs. So what are the trends that you're observing?
So what we're seeing is that in many places, now, when the tenants are looking at, they're finding that the EMIs are not very far off from what they're paying for rents. I think in some places, if you look in Bangalore, Hyderabad, the rental yields have gone as high as 5 to 6%. So the tenants have been thinking that if they're paying a rent which is maybe 20-30% lower than the EMI, why shouldn't they look at buying a house? And this is one of the big reasons that you're seeing so many tenants coming into the buying market, because the difference between has narrowed down a lot, and there is also a fear that the prices will keep on increasing and the properties will become unaffordable in the long run. And that's the reason that almost 65% tenants are saying they're exploring to buy a property in this year. I think that's a phenomenally large number which we have seen this year.
And at a time when we're looking at premiumization really being a trend and picking up across sectors, real estate not excluded, what about retail inflation, rent inflation rather, and how is it impacting purchasing choices?
So I think overall rental rates have clearly gone up quite a bit. Like I said, that average yields have gone up, and at the upper end we have seen the yields going up to 5 to 6% also. And rental inflations have been in double digits in this year as well. I think overall it's been the reason that so the trend which you're seeing is that there has been a trend of premiumization, and people are saying, okay, we want to live in gated communities because they provide all the amenities, and all these amenities are not available in the social infrastructure that we have. For example, swimming pool, gyms, and all. So gated community has something which seen a huge jump in demand, and the rental inflation in these gated communities is also much higher than the non-gated communities. So I think overall we've seen that all the gated communities, the rental inflation has been above 20%. In some cases, it has gone as high as 30% also. I think this trend is there for quite some time, and the supply has to come in for this trend to actually come down and the rents to stabilize. And I believe that since a lot of launches have happened, so probably by next year we should see that the supply should come in and there should be some easing down of the rental inflation, and it should come back to probably the earlier rate of 5 to 8%, which we used to see pre-COVID time.
What about the real estate landscape in terms of sellers and landlords? How favorable is it, Saurabh?
I think sellers and landlords have the best time in the decade. It's the first time that they're getting the prices that they want. We have seen multiple times that sellers have actually in a period of time itself changed the prices. So they've increased the prices. Usually what you had seen in the past pre-COVID, that a seller was trying to sell a property had to cut down on the prices and keep correcting it on the platform to see that finally the sale happens. Now we are seeing that they're getting so much demand that they actually end up increasing the prices multiple times. We have also seen in multiple launches also that within the launch itself, the builders increased the prices multiple times and still the entire launch was lapped up. So I think it's the best time, and that's why we are seeing so many landlords and sellers saying that they want to buy more properties, they want to invest in more properties and get rental income and also have a capital appreciation on the properties.
And what about pricing? Do you think that prices will likely stabilize basis the insights of the new report on new launches?
So look, there are two things here. One, clearly the supply has to come in, and what is planned now is actually a lot of launches are coming in. So clearly there will be a much more supply coming in the next year, and that should help in some bit of stabilization, because this year we have seen that the capital rates have increased by almost double than what the increase was last year. So almost we've seen 11 to 20% jump in prices across cities, while it was in the 5 to 8% in the last year. So clearly the capital appreciation has been much higher. I think so new supply should help that when it would be able to cater to the demand. Also, I think we're seeing two very interesting things here, that the properties which are higher priced, 1 crore plus, so people who are in the 80 to 1 crore price range, they are moving to higher priced properties. So we are seeing that upward movement to premiumization. People saying, okay, I want to buy a bigger house, I want to buy a more luxurious house. So that kind of a trend which we're seeing. But what we're also seeing is that people who are in the 60 to 80 lakh kind of a bracket, they're downgrading. And they're saying, okay, I want to buy a property which is less than 60 lakhs. So we're seeing that two different Indias playing out here. One who is saying, okay, I want to take a more premium kind of a thing, while another is saying, okay, I want to downgrade and probably get something which is less expensive. So I clearly see that because most of the launches are coming in the 1 crore plus kind of a bracket, so we should see some kind of price stabilization happening once there is more supply which can cater to the demand, and that should happen in the next year.
And given that the Indian real estate sector has really been playing a pivotal role in contributing to the GDP, we've seen an overall pickup as well. What is the trajectory and the road ahead for Indian real estate as per the report findings?
So I think very positive. All the participants in the real estate right now are extremely positive. You speak to a developer, you speak to a buyer, you speak to a seller. Everybody is very optimistic. Everybody wants to invest more, look at more growth. So I keep on seeing that this upward cycle should keep on continuing, and real estate should keep on increasing, contributing to the GDP. We believe it should contribute 10 to 12% in the next few years, and that would be very positive for the country as a whole.
All right, good to have you on board, Saurabh. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, let's move right on then. And on the sidelines of the ET Jury Awards, we caught up with some prominent voices in the startup, IT and tech space. Nitin Kamath said that the 10,000 face value for bonds is going to make a big difference. Let's listen in.
I think,